Hello. There's a very touching article here about the sinking of the Moskva, and it says one or two things about what's going on in Russia, so I thought you might be interested in my take on it. First of all, as I've said before, I think Russia is at fault here. Russia should not have invaded. But these guys here in the ship, they're not... I feel no sense of them doing any damage. They're just sailing their ship under orders, and as you will see from one of the comments, they didn't even know what they were doing too well. I'll get to that in a minute. So this is in the Telegraph. Pictured first images of damaged Moskva emerge as Russian mothers claim dozens dead. Well, that's the Telegraph headline. Certainly some people seem to have died. It's a very sad picture. I hate to see a boat in that sort of trouble. Boats aren't called she for no reason at all. There's always this feeling that they are somehow living beings. I'm not getting all mystical, don't worry. The mother of a sailor who died in the sinking of Russia's flagship warship spoke of about 200 injured in the disaster as photos emerged showing the vessel on fire. The Moskva missile cruiser sank in the Black Sea in the early hours on Thursday, reportedly after being hit by a Ukrainian missile. The Russian government did not acknowledge any losses or give any detailed account of what happened on board. I don't know whether... footage released by Russia's defence ministry over the weekend showed the ship's crew back at their home base, but the crew appeared to be at least one half of the 500 men believed to have been aboard. And I saw the clip, and it's silent as well. So it means that either there was a narrative over the video that they had to remove, or there was something playing that gave a time, possibly not after the explosion, but a video of some time earlier. But we can only speculate on that. However, not having a soundtrack on a video of that sort is a little strange. Okay. Parents of a Moskva sailor said on Monday that their son, who had served on the ship since last summer as a cook, is now listed as missing. Irina Shkrebets, mother of Yegor Shkrebets, told the Russian media outlet The Insider that she and her husband went to a hospital in Crimea over the weekend where she saw about 200 Moskva sailors with severe burns, hoping to find their son. Now this is what she said. I saw every kid who got burns. I can't describe how tough it was, but I didn't find my child, she said. I was taken by that statement she made, not only because I feel very sad about her loss of her child. That's terrible. But about how she started her sentence. I saw every kid who got burns. It means that the young men she saw who were injured were all youngsters, like in their late teens or early 20s, and probably not very experienced sailors. What were they doing on a ship like that? The fact that she saw them there and they were kids, in her eyes at any rate, means that the ship was being manned by, a bunch of Boy Scouts mostly, by the sound of what she just said. And a ship like that shouldn't be in the hands of inexperienced sailors. recent trainees, I suppose. Anyway, I do admit I'm speculating here, but a mother who saw men in the hospital would have said men, not kid. There were 200 people at the hospital while there were more than 500 people on the cruiser. Where's the rest of them? She said local security officials have rejected her pleas to see the list of those killed and missing from the Moskva. You see, we can't trust the words of an organisation when they refuse to give the names or, well, when they refuse to list the people in this sort of a situation who've gone missing. They're just not saying, and you have to wonder why. Another mother of a sailor told Novaya Gazeta that her son, who survived and is now in hospital, spoke of about 40 killed. My son was crying when he called me to say what he saw. Now listen to this. It was terrifying. Clearly not everyone made it alive. Okay, so the son thought there were about 40 people killed, which is a lot nicer a figure than the 200 that has been, or the 300 that might be speculated on. But listen to what she says next. This woman who asked to be unnamed for security reasons, she said, he said he'd never think he would end up in such a mince grinder in peacetime. In peacetime. But it's not peacetime. There's a war going on. There's a real war. Thousands of people have been killed so far. It's a real war. And this, the son of this woman, he didn't realise that he was in a war. That in itself is shocking. They're out there in a ship, which is a warship, and it gets bombed. And that guy doesn't realise that there's a war going on. A channel on the Telegram messaging app that is believed to be linked to Russian security agencies on Monday released what appears to be photos of the Moskva on fire before it sank. The photos taken from another ship nearby show the giant vessel tilted to the side with black plumes of smoke rising over its rear and water hoses spraying water in the air. The lifeboats appear to have been deployed and there do not seem to be any personnel on the deck. Right. Now, the problem with this, as far as the Russians are concerned, is that they now have no warships in the Black Sea. And the only warships they have are either, out in the east or up in the north. Either way, thousands of miles away. And even if they tried to make it to the Black Sea, they're going to encounter blockades of various sorts along the way from various countries. And the last one might be the blockade of Turkey of the Black Sea. They might not let them through. So Russia's in a bad position now, because I'm sure they were relying on that ship to shell coastal towns or indeed keep other ships out of the area. I'm sure they're already thinking of that, although I don't see any reason really for the American fleet to go into the Black Sea, but it's always a possibility. Well, that's it. I just wanted to point out that this is a real war with horrible real deaths and apparently deaths of children. In any other situation, a 19-year-old would still be considered something of a child. And this is happening under our noses, isn't it? Okay, well, yeah, I'm Grannyopteryx. I am to be found on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. Please like, share, subscribe, support my channel if you can, and sign up to Twitter, Gab or Parler, because I always upload information about my latest video on those 3 platforms, so you won't miss one if your subscription sort of slides behind the filing cabinet, as it tends to do on YouTube rather a lot. Okay, well, until next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Grannyopteryx design or Grambo, with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.grannyopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.